Pradibodhikam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayini Ambatvamanusanthadami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshini.
Objective, but my own sense of inadequacy is not exactly like my appreciation of the inadequacy of the amount of the cloth I have. I have nothing to do with anything.
It has nothing.
It has nothing to do with anything objective like my body or my mind. The body does not have the sense of inadequacy.
Excuse me, Swami.
Nor does the mind.
It is not about anything. It is centered on myself, on my notion of I. Therefore, I am inadequate is the problem. This is negated by the Shastra, which says that I is complete, Purna, it is Param Brahma and therefore limitless. When that is known, where is the sense of inadequacy?
Yeah, that is what generally I always say, no, it is not that what I want and what I lack. That I want and that I lack is the problem. See, the what I want and what I lack can be always there. I need more sugar. All that are vyavahara. Where what I add and what I add to, both are part of the same level of reality. Sugar and milk are both of the same level of reality. So milk can be more sweet by adding more sugar, less sweet by adding less sugar. So that is all possible, comparable.
Yeah.
But here we are talking about an I which is at a different level of reality, which is not going to get more adequate or less adequate by you are adding less or more sugar. So that is precisely what we are talking about. That level of reality we have to appreciate. I has a level of reality which is paramarthikam, in typical technical language, paramarthikam. But instead of going into that language also, we know, right now we know that I, the being, is not of the different order of reality compared to body, mind, senses, which are all objective. That is what he says, objective. A cloth is objective, so it can be less cloth or more cloth. Whereas, likewise, your body is objective. You can object to a body is better, not so tall, short, all those things. Likewise, mind, emotional, calm, and all that. And likewise, even senses. My eyes are seeing okay, not okay, dura parve, pitta parve, all those things. We all know. So the adequacy, inadequacy of the objective thing we are not talking about. That I is inadequate. It cannot be fulfilled by doing better body or better mind or better senses. That means what? You are identifying with you are comparing apples with oranges. Your reality is different compared to body, mind, senses. That is the basic mistake. That is the agrahanam, karanam. And then anetagrahanam, meaning anything else even though how intelligent you are, once you basic mistake, 1 plus 2 equal to 5, you start the sum with, the steps may be okay, but still your answer will be wrong. That is precisely the problem, or that is what he is trying to say. It is not the inadequacy of your body or mind, it is the notion centered on I. That is what we have to really capture. That we have to capture it in our heart. It's not only in the mind, we have to capture it in our heart that my reality is Purnam Param Brahma. That solves all the inadequacies. That's what he says, yeah.
It is inadequacy that is the basis for all my desires. Thinking that by doing an action, I will get certain result and thereby be somebody more acceptable than I am now. These kind of binding desires stem from ignorance of the Atma being full. And once Atma is appreciated as full, they cannot be there. One may
cannot be there, meaning the inadequacies cannot be there. Yeah, the binding desires cannot be there. Desires may be there, but they won't be binding. Because my level of reality is different. So whether I do it or not, doesn't matter. So it won't be binding. Actions can still be there, you can desire also. Swamiji always used to say, you can desire also. Like even that what Sadhguru says, no, Attanaikum Asaipadu and all that. If you don't understand it properly, then Shastra encourages you to have more desires. No. That is not the way it is to be looked at. It has to be carefully. Your level of reality, once you understand, and whatever your desire also will be what is useful for the society, because you are already full. You don't have to need to entertain any desire. So what desire you will entertain then? What is good for the society? Then what is good for the society, you can always have. I want to do better, this community should be better, that community should be better. That's a different thing. Whereas if you don't understand this, the Arthanaikam Asaikudu can be a dangerous thing. Very important. Yeah.
Swamiji, can I explain what I understand by that? If I feel that I have everything, I am fully complete in all respects, then I will not look for anything specially. Is that what it is meant in this?
Yeah, in the sense, that's what it is meant. So then what you will do with your body, mind, senses? You will do whatever is required to be done in the circumstances you are there. If you are in the family, you will do what is required to by the family. If it is you are in a society, you will do what is required by the society. But none of those things, whatever you intend to do, you take up to do, even you desire to do, is not to add to your sense of adequacy or your sense of fulfillment. You are already a full, complete person. You are contented, self-contented, not because of fulfilling certain desires and all, but because of the basic reality being, I, the being, is nothing to do with the inadequate body, mind, senses. Body, mind, senses are different level of reality. They all have, the Vikam Gramadi, every body, mind, senses will have its own plus, minus and all that. That will be part of the transactional reality. But my identification with that body, mind, senses will not be there. And that comes only when then what am I? If I am not my body, mind, senses, then what am I? Then what am I has to be answered. What am I is, yes, my reality is timeless, spaceless, objectless being. The awareable being, the being I am. Once that understanding is real for you, then you are a contented person. Yeah, there is no, because it is doesn't have it doesn't have it is not an object, it is a singularity, it's a primordial reality, what they call in science also. Primordial, even before Vailam. That you are the primordial, your understanding of your reality is equivalent to the top Brahman. So, contented. So once I understand, that is the understanding of life. That is the hallmark of a human being. He understands life in its entirety. The big picture is clear. Thereafter, he will play whatever the small picture offers with contentment. So, hunting for happiness, we will happily hunt.
But Swamiji, he was saying, if I have a feeling I am complete, I think that is not possible at all.
That's not a feeling, that is an understanding. In the sense, it's an understanding of the reality I am talking about.
Reality, that's what.
Reality understanding.
Not
Very important.
You cannot think I am complete. I have everything. Yeah.
No, if it's reality understanding, let us not put words in his mouth. Let him say what he got to say. Reality.
What I meant is, supposing whatever I earn now is comfortable. I don't want to add anything more. I don't want to aspire for more and more.
That is contentment.
If I feel that, and that is what is meant, because I am Purnam.
No, it is not that. That is where you start. Basically, the self-contentment is called the chitta prasannata. In the sense, whatever stage I am in my life, I am relatively cheerful. So, when you are relatively cheerful, you are ready to explore what is the reality of life. And once you understand the reality of life, is what the Gita talks about or any Upanishad talks about is Desakala Vastu Aparichinnam. That is timeless, spaceless, objectless being. It has nothing to do with the relative contentment one feels having lived a dharmic life, full life. That's all required. That gives you the confidence that whatever I take up, I can do it properly. In the same way, that contentment will help you to understand that now if I inquire about the realities of life, even that I will do a good job of it. So my understanding of the reality through the Shastra will also be adequate. Gives you that level-headedness, Apramatta, which I have been talking about, alertness. You will not be, alasyam will not be there, laziness will not be there in pursuing and understanding. If I don't understand, I will ask repeatedly questions, the mananam, I will do contemplation, I will try to understand the reality, the only depth. All that will be, you are adequate. You feel adequate enough to explore life. But it is not nothing to do with the relative contentment one feels by way of wealth or by way of power or position, or everything has gone out well in my life. That is only a relative sense of contentment. That may be required. That may give you a level playing field in terms of chitta prasannata. Hey, this will be fairly cool-headed and all. You will be able to explore. When you sit and study Gita, you will be able to spend time with it, quality time with it. You will not get distracted. That is all. That is only the basis. That is not the adequacy which here Gita is talking about. Gita, what is talking about is adequacy by understanding the reality of oneself, which is desa kala vastu aparichinnam, timeless, objectless, spaceless being, which is a singularity, which is not to be compared with anything objective in life. Everything else, what is transactional, whether it is a pot or a pump or a job, or everything is transactional. So that can be added or plus or minus can be there. But in this particular case, there can be, in terms of the timeless, spaceless, objectless being, there can be no plus or no minus, no modification. That is the reality we are talking about. That is the adequacy. That is what we are aiming at by understanding, not by doing anything, not by adding something or subtracting something. Understanding, pure understanding. That is what we have to get to. That you must be able to, in the sense, by understanding means what I'm right from the second chapter onwards, what Gita is trying to say. You must be able to look at it again and again and see the reality of it. And that adequacy is that of Mattaha Anyaha Na. Myself and Ishvara are the same level of reality. That is the adequacy we are talking. So that we have to be careful about that, yeah.
I think Tripi Inge Aramichi, Tripi it will go into Atma. It will go like that only. We've been reading.
Yeah, it will all be like that.
In 13th chapter onwards, we've been reading different everywhere. There is one instance where finally Swamiji concludes by saying Atma, like that. Now you started with inadequacy. I think it will end with saying Atma.
Yeah. Atma only. It will come to Atma. Atma, Brahman, Ishvara, all are the same level of reality. Yeah.
Next para.
These kind of...
Next para. It is the inadequacy.
I already read that first sentence. Thinking that by doing an action I will get certain result and thereby be somebody more acceptable than I am now. These kinds of binding desires stem from ignorance of the Atma being full, and once Atma is appreciated as full, they cannot be there. One may have a simple desire to do something just because one is capable of it, as an expression of the Lord's glory, vibhuti, but that has nothing to do with the sense of desire that is born of inadequacy. That kind of desire is what is discussed here. It will not be there for the one who has gained the knowledge which has moksha as a result. What would he get out of it? There cannot be any desire to improve the self because it is full. Shankara gives us an example which we also saw in the second chapter, Gita 2.46. There cannot be...
That is explaining here. Yeah, the same thing. Yeah.
There cannot be any desire to improve the self. It is already full. One thing which I used to always wonder, Swamiji, in some places when we go to meet Jagat Gurus, they will read out on the mic saying, someone is singing a song, they will say, why don't you sing this song? Why don't you sing that song? They will ask for some songs. I have seen some people in the crowd, they will say, Swamiji has lot of desires for these songs, so he is asking them to sing, like that. By reading this, I understand it is not desire actually. He is doing it for Lokakshema. To have a complete Lokakshema of something, bhakti to be complete. He is not
keep the people in good state there, so that they are in the right frame of mind to listen to, don't get distracted by Lokika things and other things. That's all. It's all there in the sense in the scheme of things, it's all there. But you have to understand it in the right spirit. That is important. Yeah.
Suppose you pray for rain and the rain comes in cascades that it floods everything. When every place is filled with water, no one has a desire for a well or a pond.
We discussed last time.
Yeah, this is there. We have read this verse before also. Here also is quoting the same. Yeah.
In India, we have these survivor wells which are dug in the riverbed when the river is dry. It's a common thing in the summer. When the rain comes, the river is full of water. There is water everywhere. In fact, even the banks are broken. Everywhere it is flooded. Now, what is the use of that well? When the person who wants water finds water everywhere, how will he desire a well or a pond? He has achieved the results of his prayer.
Yeah, that is what. See, like what he was asking, you were saying, no, that suppose I have learned enough and I feel fulfilled. That is like the well being fulfilled. Whereas we are talking about the river, the ocean being. When I am the ocean, why should I be contented having a filled up pond or a filled up well? So that is the level we are talking about. At that level, the well or the pond doesn't matter at all. It is not in my conscience. I am Purnam. So I am not worried whether I made enough wealth, or whether my family is taken care of. All those things. I may still do that, but that doesn't come into my conscience. I am Purnam. That is how it is. That is the level at which you have to purely understand it. Yeah.
कैवल्य फले ही ज्ञाने प्राप्ते सर्वतः
Samplutodakam pale. Samplutodakam na, since udakam is water. Samplutodakam means complete flooded water. Yeah.
कूप तडागादि क्रिया फलार्थित्व अभाववत्.
In the sense, at that time, when Samplutodake pale, when the river is flooded, Koopa Tadaka, a well and a pond being full, is not in my conscience at all. I am not bothered. Maybe in summer I may still leave, next summer I may dig, and water is not there in the river. But when now the river is flooded, I am not going to look for the well or the pond. It may not be even available to see. That is how it is.
No,
It's all what you mean is all very relative. All those things in our life, what we say relative fulfillment of our job, family, relationship and all, it's all incidental. It's all. There's nothing to do with that absolute fullness which you are talking about. Yeah.
They do know every year, Kalwai, let us Tuduarify all the rivers, they will do everything.
Yeah.
Then in the flood, everything will come and go away. Again, they will start every year like that.
Talantare, yeah.
Talantare, Tatsadana Bhutayam, Va Kriyayam, Artinatva, Artitvanu
the river is flooded. Talantare, Tada. Tad sadhana bhutayam. Sadhana bhutayam means sadhanam means river, the pond and well, what you have done during the summer. Va kriyayam, to keep them in good condition. Artitva anupapati. You are not even concerned about all of them when the river is full. That is what he says. That is a comparison he's making. Yeah.
Artitva anupapati. Shankara Bhashya. Similarly here, when the knowledge gained is that I am Param Brahma and nothing is apart from that Param Brahma, it means that all the worlds, including Brahmaloka, are included in that gain. Even if I were to go to Brahmaloka, the gain is limited because then I would not have the advantage of being here. There in Brahmaloka, there is no cricket, football, baseball or tennis. The gain of Brahmaloka will exclude all the gains that I would have in other worlds. But the gain of Brahman, being everything, includes all the 14 worlds, 7 above and 7 below. There cannot be a desire for any further gain. After knowledge, what karma would one do to gain what? When he is Brahman, what is he going to get? Even as one who is seeking this knowledge, a jignasu, he is seeking a freedom that he knows includes dharma, artha and kama. All three are included in his desired end, moksha. Back to chapter 2 beginning.
So, the beauty is, he is talking about a person who knows and also a person who is trying to know. A person who is trying to know the freedom of the being, even he will not be bothered with dharma, artha, kama. Because he is looking for something higher. The mumukshu, basically. So, for him, a person is really clear about his pursuit of moksha. Dharma and dharma, artha and kama will be only an upaya. Like, you will do what you are supposed to do. You will not do dharma, you will do dharma only. And artha and kama adequately, like what he was telling, I will adequately provide the family with the adequate wealth, taking care of their education, etc., etc. All those things I may be doing. But my interest is not in that. My interest is in freedom, ultimate freedom. So, even a person who is in the process of understanding, even he will not be bothered with dharma, kama. Even though he may do, but he will not be of great interest in. But he will be interested in understanding. So that is the level he is talking about. All three are included. So, what about the person who is already understood? Even a person who is looking for understanding, if he is above dharma, artha, kama, what about the person who is already understood? He is totally unblemished, unbothered about all these things. Yeah.
Therefore, he is not going to desire any other small thing. He is interested only in one thing, and that one thing includes everything. He recognizes that his problem is the notion that I am wanting, and he addresses that directly. He is not trying to appease this wanting fellow. That is what we call samsara, and it never ends. Did anybody ever solve the problem of appeasement? Never. Appeasement never ends. The more you appease your mind, the more it increases.
Mind in a demand.
Demand. The more you appease your demand, the more it increases. Neither in management will it work, nor in life. Appeasement just buys some time, but it will not be long before there is another demand. The one who knows he is Brahman, however, has no need of appeasement. He is full. Shankara gives another example here. Nahi Rajya Prapti Pale Karmani Vyapritasya Kshetra Prapti Pale Vyaparopapatihi Tadvishyam Cha Artivam.
The Swamiji used to say, give a nice example for this. A person who is a king of entire South India, he will not say, can I get Anaikati also? Swamiji used to, because Anaikati, from there he used to split. No, Anaikati is a small place in Coimbatore, right?
Yeah.
So a person who is a king of South India will not ask for, can I get Anaikati? In the same way, this sort of, when you are already, person who is full, kingdom, that's what he explains. You read that. Yeah.
Suppose there is a person who is engaged in an activity to gain a new kingdom. Does he also engage in another activity to gain a few acres within that kingdom? The one who is interested in moksha is interested in a limitless kingdom, one which has no boundaries whatsoever. This boundary-free kingdom called Brahman is called the empire of the self, Atma Samrajya. For the one,
Samrajyam we would have seen many times. Swarajyam, Samrajyam. In Shastra, many people quote also. This is the Samrajyam, this is the Swarajyam. Swarajyam means Purnam Brahma, Ahamasmi. Yeah.
For the one who wants to gain this limitless, boundless empire of the self, where is the interest in gaining heaven or progeny or some security? It is meaningless. When a person is interested in mining all the gold in his gold mine, he is not bartering the mine for one sovereign. Just as the one who is seeking a kingdom will not have any desire for a few acres of land within it. The one who knows or wants to know that he is Brahman will not have a desire for anything else, for there is nothing that is not Brahman. So
See, there is also one more thing. There is also one more thing. This is called leapfrogging. Swamiji used to say, even in science, innovations are discovered not by incremental getting one more PhD. Leapfrogging, for an instinct to come out and say time and space are relative, he has to completely demolish the Newton's law where time and space are absolute. So it is called leapfrogging. So the same way in your life, your paradigm shift should be there. It is not a question of incrementally doing better and better and better. The paradigm shift here is Purnam Brahma Aham Asmi. It has got a level of reality which is incomparable with the level of reality I am used to transactionally, however high and mighty I am. That is the thing which he is talking about. That is why he keeps on stressing that person who is full is not going to desire for anything plus minus and all that. That's what he's trying to say. Yeah.
Leapfrog is similar to breakthrough.
Yeah, leapfrog, paradigm shift. They say no. In even in anything, any new discovery, the paradigm shift has to be there. Since see, incremental achievements are all within the same paradigm. Like even in science, they will say under constant temperature and pressure, everything will work only in this particular temperature, standard temperature and pressure. If you take this, whatever works in Earth, you take it to space, it will not work there. Whatever gravity will not work there, it has changed. Paradigm has changed. So, even though science may be saying certain things in this particular what is available in Earth, it will not work in space. That is a different paradigm. So, where you have to all these postulations go off. Then the same way, here in the understanding is the reality of your understanding has nothing to do with transactional. So once that understanding is there, all those laws of getting more sovereign, getting more acres of land, all those things do not immaterial at all. It's all beyond your purview. That's what he's trying to say.
And typical example of a big kingdom but looking for small acres of land is China. China keeps on invading into India's soil to take little bit of the soil.
Because they are within the paradigm which they know. They are not a Sanatanis. That is precisely the problem. Why we say Sanatani can be Vishwaguru? Because only Sanatana can give you Sadatana. Meaning you are always there. You are not incomplete. You are Purnam. Sanatana is nothing but this Brahman. I am Atma Brahman. How are you going to explain to them? Very difficult. Ammakke puri mategirade. After doing all these years of study and study, everyone say I have studied for 20 years Gita. Somebody say I have studied for 30 years. But still we keep asking the same questions. You understand? So that is precisely the problem. Sanatana, it will work if only this paradigm shift can happen. In the human mind alone it can happen. It cannot happen anywhere else. And it is possible if we are honest with ourselves. Right now we can understand. All the four of us, the being is the same. What is difference is only the shirt we wear and the hair style we have, the age we have, the height and whatever changes, whatever we can see. Anything useful is mithya. And we transact with only what is useful. So we can comfortably say whatever I transact is only mithya. I am Satyam, which I am seeing. I am the one who is giving the the Satta and Skruti. Because I am able to transact only because I give reality to all these transactions. Without me, this thing, that is what I was telling about Atmavan. I give, my reality I give to all this. That is why transactions are possible. Sun and moon exist in my reality. If I don't say a sun as sun, no. So that is how, that level of understanding has to be there. Then all these things makes a lot of sense. That is what we are trying to do. The 18th chapter, Bhagavan is trying to complete this understanding. Where there is no karma that is required once this understanding is there. Karma you may still do. That is for Lokasankarartham. But not for self-fulfilling. You are a fulfilled person already. That's what he is trying to say. So, that distinction, karma, jnana, karma, samuchaya, jnana and karma, all these things, very clearly we have to understand. And the jnana which you are talking about is not the objective knowledge, but the purnatva of the reality. That Atma Jnanam, Brahma Jnanam. That's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita. Karma alone or combined?
Karma alone or combined is not a means for moksha. Therefore, karma alone or combined is not a means for moksha. Tasmad na karmana asti nishreyas sadhanatvam.
Sadhanatvam. Tasmad na karmanaha asti nishreyasa sadhanatvam. Because he says, no, originally, Arjuna asked, nishreyasa palam. He is asking for shreyas. So he says, Tasmat na karmanaha asti nishreyasa sadhanatvam. That is why people will say, He himself clearly says, Bhagavan himself clearly says, na karmana tasmat na karmana asti na shriyesa na nishreyesa sadhanatam. Then why is he asking Arjuna to fight a war? Why is he asking him to do karma? That is why the question will be immediately. Yeah. Nacha
jnana karmano
samuchitayo. Second option is nacha jnana karmanaha samuchitayo, meaning by combining also, because it cannot combine. How can apple and oranges combine to give you a wholesome number? It's not. You cannot compare even. So you should not try to do that. By understanding, you can avoid combining that. Then third,
ज्ञानस्य कैवल्य फलस्य कर्म
sahaya apeksha, meaning jnana does not require sahayam, meaning help from karma. Jnana does not require any help from karma to improve the jnana. Because this jnanam is not like the other jnanam of science or any other jnanam. Karma will help unless when you learn a good recipe, just learning the recipe will not help unless you cook it. You won't be able to enjoy it. So jnana and karma has to go together. That is not in this case, because there the jnana does not require karma phala sahayam. That's not required. That's what he says. Third thing.
Avidya
nivartakatvena
nivartakartavye katvena virodat. Shankara Bhashya.
So virodat meaning avidya can go only by vidya, not by any karma. Vidya, that is the ignorance, has to be removed only by jnanam, not by any karma. That's what he says. So in that, avidya is the problem of samsara. Vidya is the problem of the solution of Atma Jnanam. In this, there is no place for karma. Whether along with Jnanam or without Jnanam, karma does not going to help. So why he says that is very clear is, understand, this is the level of understanding, this moksha. At the end of the day, all this karma, that is why, all the to be done karma pays off and relieves you from all karma. Pays off meaning what? You have lived a good life, proper life, what I am supposed to do. Because of that, I get a good chitta samadhanam. Because of that, I am able to sit and study and understand. Once that understanding is there, there is no more karma is not going to make me full or less or not full or inadequate, etc., etc. So that is what he is concluding. That is what Shankara very clearly says. There is no, in the sense, in terms of understanding, there can be no compromise. Karma does not have any role to play. Straight away. If you understand, your understanding is Purnam Brahma here and now. So there is no compromise. That's what he states. Yeah.
Karma that is talked about here refers to the karma enjoined by the Veda. When this is the status of Vaidika karma as a means for moksha, what is the status of any other karma as a means for moksha?
That's what he says. Even a Vaidika karma, generally we have a greater respect for Vaidika karma compared to Laukika karma. He says even Vaidika karma will not help. What about Laukika karma? I don't have to tell. That's what he is trying to say. Yeah.
Karma of any kind does not have the status of being the means for moksha. Nor does karma combined with knowledge, jnana. Some people talk of this kind of combination, a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of karma brought together to produce moksha. They argue giving the following example to support their contention. They say that mere betel leaf will not turn your tongue red. There must be lime and betel nut along with betel leaf. Only then the red color will be produced. Similarly, neither mere knowledge nor mere karma will produce moksha. They must be combined.
This example, today's people will not understand even. They don't know either betel nut and turning red and all. Nowadays, they will not even understand. Yeah.
I know Swamiji because I have seen some people eating betel nut with Parker and they will show their tongue as if it is red.
True.
Actually, Swamiji, this Kashmir thing where Pakistan occupied Kashmir, we have one Gurudwara and one Sharadamba temple where people from Kashmir are going in a very closed van from India to Pakistan occupied Kashmir to do puja karma every day and Vedic, like whatever the Vedas, whatever is happening in there, they go, they do it and come back. The significance and sanctity of that was circulated in one of the issues where it says the presence of Sharadamba and the presence of the books of those Vedas that were present those days, the Sanidhyam of all of that is still present in that place, even though India doesn't own that place. So, people who take the pain and the cost of going in underground vans in a very safe, secure place to go there actually have a true meaning in. It's not an example for this, I'm saying. There is a true meaning they have to go there and do that and come back. Here, we cannot say that why can't we just leave that away? Just, okay, it is gone, all the books are disappeared, why don't we just leave that, right? We are
basically you can say there is a Shraddha involved in the sense there is a Shraddha for the books and the Bhashyam, Shankara, Saradamba and all that. So there is, in the sense, we have got the Shraddha. Ultimately the Shraddha is in the Jnanam. So these are all fortifying that. To fortify the Shraddha, these activities will help. All this. That is why karma will help in for reinforcing the Shraddha. But that will not give you Jnanam. Shraddhavan labhate Jnanam. Shraddha keeps you ready for Jnanam. But ultimately Jnanam alone, once the Jnanam comes into being, even Shraddha will part of the faith and part of the way of life, and all, it will all take a back seat. That's what he's trying to say. Yeah.
Let us see what will really happen if one does combine them. The karma will produce its result, but that will be adrishtapala and will not fructify in this birth, but in some other later birth. On the other hand, knowledge gives moksha here and now, as drishtapala.
Yeah.
Even if one were to assume that the adrishtapala of the karma will produce moksha, it will be only in some other later life and not now in this life. If this is so, that is, if you pursue knowledge, you will get moksha now in this life itself. And if you pursue karma, you will not get moksha now, but in a later life. Who would be interested in that karma? And perhaps at the most, since he is doing good karma and has started pursuing knowledge, the next birth he will be pursuing pure knowledge. Lord Krishna assures that he will not come to a bad lot and will pick up the thread and continue in the next birth. Nahi kalyana krite kaschit durgatim tata gacchati.
This we have seen, 6.40. Nahi Kalyana, where Ubhay Brashta, Arjuna is asking, no, Ubhay Brashta. Meaning, so okay, I am pursuing this knowledge, suppose I am not able to understand it completely. What will happen to me? Because I would have left karma already. What would I have achieved by karma? I would have already left, I have pursued this knowledge, but I have not yet got the understanding. What will happen? That is why he says, don't worry, Nahi Kalyana kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. Tata meaning very affectionately he is telling that you will come back and continue the journey and understand. Don't worry about that. That is a prasamsa. Prasamsa meaning once this journey is started, it will definitely complete. It will not be incomplete at any, because your reality you are seeking. If not today, tomorrow, once your pursuit is on understanding reality, reality is not something to be gained. It is something to be understood. Because reality is already there. Whether you understood or not, every one of us is Brahman. So it will, the understanding will reach its fruition only in this understanding that I am Brahman, which is already there. It is not to be gained. So praptasya praptihi. So that assurance is there because that is a reality. Not because Krishna assures, but because there is a reality. That is how it is. Yeah.
Further knowledge, which has moksha as its result, does not require any assistance from karma. It is true that mere knowledge of the means for gaining heaven will not give heaven, and karma also, if it is done without the know-how, cannot produce the proper result. Only if the karma is backed by knowledge and then practice, the desired result will be gained. But when moksha is the result, it is not like that. Knowledge does not require the help of karma because knowledge itself is moksha. An argument is made that if one person is trying to lift something and another person comes and helps, lifting
becomes definitely easier.
becomes definitely easier. Or even though moksha is gained by knowledge and perhaps karma will make it easier, we negate both these possibilities and say, no, knowledge does not combine,
Knowledge does not combine
with karma at all in any manner. There is no connection between one because one is born of a means of knowledge and is centered on the object to be known. Vastu Tantra.
Vastu.
Vastu Tantra.
Tantra, while the other karma depends entirely upon the will of the person, Purusha Tantra. Knowledge is going to be as true as object. Where does karma come into picture?
Moreover, the knowledge is totally opposite to karma. What does knowledge do? It removes ignorance, the very ignorance that is necessary for karma. Once knowledge has removed the cause of karma, how are you going to do karma again? Karma implies a doer. What does knowledge do? First, it destroys the notion, I am the doer. When that is gone, who is going to do karma and for what? Only when the sense of agency is removed is there moksha, and knowledge alone is sufficient for that. Knowledge is opposed to karma because it removes ignorance, which is the cause of karma. Therefore, knowledge that results in moksha does not require karma.
So here the karma meaning that I am doing, that notion will go. Thereafter, even if you do some karma, you will not be arrogating on yourself saying that I am doing karma because I am already a mukta purusha, I am the being. So where is the Krishna being? It does not have any avayava. So where is it going to do karma? Karma will be still done by body, mind, senses, which is not I. In the sense, I don't take ownership of body, mind, senses. They are there in my custody just to interact with the world. That's all. But I am not that. Body, mind, senses are I, but I am not body, mind, senses. That clarity will be there. So where is the Krishna? You are doing karma. Karma will be still done. Natural things will happen naturally. Phenomenal things will happen phenomenally. When you are hungry, you will go and eat. When you are thirsty, you will go and drink. But I won't say that I am eating or I am, even though for the laukika purpose, for the worldly transaction, you will still say, I will eat and come. But it doesn't mean that you are real, you are the doer. You are not arrogating upon yourself that I am the doer. Yeah, there is hunger. Hunger is to be appeased, so we are going and eating. But I, the Purna Atma, is very much aware, and that only gives the mind the satta, spurti, and the digestive power of the whole body mechanism. Even that is done by the niyati, which the niyati is powered by me alone, my reality alone. All this clarity of understanding will be there. Satta, spurti, and the intelligence of the whole activities that go around me is in the blessing of my reality. That will be, clarity will be there. So, but still things will happen. That's what we means by that. But you won't be arrogating yourself saying that I am doing the karma.
The individual role of karma and jnana in attaining moksha. Please understand the point here. We do not say that karma is useless, but we only say that karma is not the direct means for moksha. When we say that knowledge is the means for moksha, it is like saying that heat is the means for cooking. Without it, there cannot be any cooking. It does not mean that you do not need fuel. Mere fuel does not cook. The heat does. So too, moksha is accomplished by knowledge, like cooking is done by fire. As you require to gather fuel and other things for cooking, you also need to prepare your mind through prayer, attitude, etc. for moksha. All that comes in quietly here. Nothing is really dismissed. We can include yoga or any other discipline, including diet. They are all aids for the preparation of the mind. And the preparation can be very elaborate because of what is at stake here. Only one in thousands even gets interested in moksha, it is said, And among those who get interested, only one among thousands makes the effort. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. Of those who gains knowledge, the one who is prepared. And what is the preparation? It is purity of mind, antakarana shuddhi. Suppose you want to earn $1 million. It is not an easy thing even in America. But here, what is at stake is to be infinite. For that, you have to give up everything, not just one thing. First, you must give up your past, all that happened to you, your depression and all your problems. Then you have to give up everything you have at present. And once you have given up everything, you have to give up the feeling that you have given up everything. Yena tyajasi tat tyaja.
Yena tyajasi tat tyaja. By which you have given up, you think that you are giving up, that feeling also will go. That ego, basically, yena tyajasi tat tyaja, meaning your ego only saying, no, I have given that and all that. When that ego will be separated. Yeah.
If Brahman is limitless, there is no way to gain that. You have to know, I am Brahman. What is at stake here is not an ordinary thing. And yet, there is nothing at stake here because there is no gambling. You are already Brahman. Nothing has to disappear and nothing has to appear. There is nothing to be given up and nothing to be reached. All that is required is preparation, which is easy once you have ascertained what you really want, Purushartha Nischaya. Giving up of everything is only in the form of giving up of ignorance. Tyagena eke amritatvam anasuhu.
The way in which sannyasis are invited.
Yes.
That is Purna Kumbham, what they call. There this sloka comes. Tyagena eke amritatvam anasuhu.
Anasuhu na enna artham Swamiji?
Anasuhu. Amritatvam anasuhu means you accomplish. By which? Okay.
It is giving up my sense of owning anything, because in owning etc. there is smallness. That is how the whole past is given up. Parentage is given up, the concept of male-female is given up, the concepts of young and old, strong and weak, skilled and unskilled, educated and uneducated, being a doer karta and an enjoyer bhokta are all given up. What is moksha? Moksha is nothing but giving up all the way it is giving up.
This Purna Kumbham you are telling, no? When Swamiji arrives, we are giving Purna Kumbham. But some places I have seen, some people give this, what is this? Tenga, Urikarathukku munadi, and the tenna, Matta Tenga also they will give.
This is Purna Kumbham means what you are supposed to do is that the vessel, water and coconut on top. The Purna Kumbham is the water, like even the water in the pot is full, your heart is full. That is the meaning. That is the significance.
But why they replace it with that tenna?
Maybe sometimes, I don't know, maybe there may be a alternative available at your Matta Tenga means Purnam. That also is Purnam by in itself. Can be like that. I don't know. Generally, this is a practice.
Or it could be acquiring, gaining. Let us put it in the form of acquiring. I am the sun, I am the moon, I am space, I am time, I am the earth, I am everything. I am the past, I am the present, I am the future. Everything that is going to come is myself. Indra is myself. Varuna is myself. Ganga is myself. Yamuna is myself. The Mississippi is also myself. Whether we give up everything or acquire everything, it is all the same. Either way, it requires preparation. Like fire requires fuel, we require a mind which ignites when the knowledge is unfolded. The fuel should not be wet. It should be dry, and to keep it dry, we do varieties of things. Everything that we do for this purpose is useful. Prayer is useful, as is anything that we do to fix up our mind. This is called sadhana. We are not tired of it and we keep doing whatever that has to be done. That word sarva, all, has to be understood here because there is a complete negation of karma in this passage. We have to know exactly what is said here. It is responsible learning and responsible teaching.
See, there are two things. One is sadhana, another thing is ayatana. which you would have heard, no? Ayatanavan bhavati, ayatanavan bhavati, all that. So sadhana is the mind and ayatana is the body. Both body and mind have to be kept in good shape. Then only they will not draw, as I have told you before also, then only they will not draw your attention. They will not distract you. If your body is not well, they won't be able to learn Gita. Because you have to attend to it. They will draw your attention all the time. Likewise, if your mind is all the time distracted, you will not be able to sit and read. So both the sadhana and ayatana have to be kept in good shape so that they don't draw your attention. That you can just keep them aside and study. That way, that is what, to that extent, sadhana and ayatana both are important.
We are not tired of it and we keep doing whatever that has to be done. Oh, finish reading all that. The vision must be very clear. When I say that by eating 3 times a day, you are not going to learn Sanskrit, it does not mean that if you give up eating, you will learn Sanskrit. When I say that karma will not give you moksha, I mean it because it is not a matter of the result of your karma. It is something that is already accomplished. Siddha Vishaya. You have to know I am Brahman, Aham Brahma Asmi, and that knowledge is moksha. It does not mean that you should not do karma or that you should not prepare yourself for that. That is not what is said here. And Krishna has already talked about karma in the previous verse, Manmana Bhava. There he repeated what he had said earlier, whatever you do, please do it as an offering to me, Yat Karoshi Tat Kurushva Madarpanam. Gita 9.27.
ஒரு பட்டிமன்றம் கேட்குற மாதிரி இல்லை இந்த பேராகிராஃப்லாம் when we listen
Yeah,
to some
because this now is summarizing, no? So he compels us to go back and keep reading second chapter, sixth chapter, everything.
Yeah.
So then only must have a complete understanding.
Both sides. The Vedanti stand. Here that Jnana Nishta, which is sannyasa, is being discussed and it is a different topic. Karma will not help here. You know that light and darkness are opposed to each other. If you are in a place that is totally dark and you ask someone to bring some light and he brings a burnt out light bulb, how will it help to illumine the place? You have to bring in light. In the same way, knowledge and ignorance are opposed to each other. And karma being a product of ignorance is not opposed to ignorance. Therefore, Shankara says that just as darkness cannot remove darkness, karma cannot remove ignorance. 164. Nahi tama tamaso nivartakam atak kevalam evam jnanam nisreyasa sadhanam iti. Shankara Bhashya.
Nahi tamaha tamaso nivartakam. Ataha, therefore, kevalam eva jnanam nishreyasa sadhanam iti. That's what he clearly bifurcates karma and jnana.
Therefore, knowledge is the only means for moksha. The idea is that karma, being a product of ignorance, cannot remove ignorance. And removal of ignorance is moksha, freedom, because Atma is already free. This is the conclusion of a Vedanti. Without any help from karma, even in the form of upasana, meditation, knowledge alone is capable of giving moksha. Then why don't we call the pursuits of man as dharma, artha, kama and jnana instead of dharma, artha, kama and moksha? We do not do so because the value is only for moksha, not for knowledge. Then how is this moksha connected to knowledge? One is the means, the other is the end. There is a sadhya sadhana sambandha. Knowledge is the means for moksha. What is produced, of course, is in the form of knowledge alone, the knowledge that I am Brahman, I am fullness, Ananda. At the same time, the end sought after is moksha, and the means is this knowledge. Therefore, we have to connect that moksha and knowledge as the end and means. And it is with that understanding that Shankara says here, the only means for moksha is knowledge. It does not require any help from karma.
So there is one thing. They say when knowledge gives you moksha and understanding gives you freedom. Between these two sentences, which is closer to your heart? knowledge gives me moksha, understanding gives me freedom.
Understanding gives me freedom.
Exactly. That is what they say. You feel closer to one of this. You say understanding gives me freedom. Because this moksha, it becomes, what do you call it? It is a very technical word. Generally people think moksha means I won't be reborn. How do I know whether I am reborn? Once I am gone, whether I am reborn or not, even Jnani cannot know. Okay. So, that is a very remote, again, it is something in the future. And knowledge is such a confused word. Anything and everything is called knowledge. So what is this knowledge? Whereas when you say understanding is something close to the heart. Anything for that matter. Understanding means you are thorough, you own it up. Clarity is there. And that gives you instant freedom. Freedom means everyone understands. Freedom means I am free. That's it. Irrespective of what am I doing, whatever I am not doing. So that understanding is precisely what we are talking about. Understanding gives you freedom. That understanding only we are looking at. And I want to understand life as a whole. Since what is my reality? What is the reality of the world? What is the reality of Ishvara? Jiva Jagat Ishvara. The reality is only one. There is no three. There is only one. And that understanding is right now, here and now. Atma. That is Desa Kala Vastu Aparichinna. Timeless, objectless, spaceless being here and now. The understanding is pratyaksham for me. Pratyaksham means as good as Hasta Amalaka Iva, like even a fruit on the palm. It should be so clear. That is called Chitta Samadhi. That is Samadhi. There is no other Samadhi. This is the Samadhi. So that is precisely what we are looking at. So we will see further. Yeah.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om